Hey there, friends. This video is actually a little bit of a validation on psychic protection, affirming that and demonstrating through my experience how it might work. So over the last few days, I've been working on something psychically, specifically with Jesus. And in the early mornings is when I had been doing it, and today, because some other things have happened, it delayed when I was sitting down to get into that state and communicate with Jesus. And when I was preparing and finally intending to sit down and do this process, Jesus put in my mind, psychically, the song, "Let Me In" by The Sensations. And I had to Google it to find out what song it was, because I never knew the song. I just knew the line, and it goes, "Let me in, whoop." So you can look up, something like that. You can look up "Let Me In" by The Sensations, and that first little line is what Jesus put in my head. And how does this validate psychic protection? Because I had paused the conversation in consciousness. With my intention, I said, okay, we're going to pause it there, and I'm going to get on to other things, because otherwise I'll be there all day taking dictation from the Spirit, from Jesus. And while it was paused, there was nothing coming through. As I intended to pause it, there was nothing coming through. And it didn't come through, and he didn't come through again until I intended to reconnect consciously. And as I did, he said, "Let me in, wee." And then the conversations began flowing again. So not only does that work with a positive spirit, that works with a negative spirit, because that just works with consciousness. That's the law of consciousness. That's how intention works. So although in this expression, it was a positive entity coming through, a high vibration entity of Jesus coming through, it works in the same manner with a negative energy. Actually, and Spirit's just reminding me right now, you know how many children are, when we come in, we're natural. That's our natural state, the purity and pure consciousness. We're coming in, and then we get desensitized and we learn to look away from it. But you hear stories, once you get into this psychic research, of how children have these psychic experiences and they don't know how to interpret it or understand it, so they interpret it negatively, and they become fearful, and they turn it off. And how do they turn it off? With intention. They didn't know that, and they didn't understand that, but that's Spirit just validating again. You just turn it off by intending to turn it off, but just being scared of something doesn't turn it off. You actually have to use your conscious power. You have to consciously, deliberately create that boundary, that protection. Okay. This is an important topic for everybody doing this type of work, because you do want to understand your power and your control and your influence on creation and your experience as well. You don't want to be reckless. I don't encourage anybody going out and playing with negative energies. I myself don't do that. But I'm beginning to understand that even a negative energy it can't hurt you if you stand in your power, because you can. And sometimes those negative energies are just looking for transmutation. They're looking for understanding, and by us just shutting them out and shutting them down, it's almost only reaffirming them being that and not being helpful to them. But that's not the job for somebody who's introductory, and it's not an interest of mine currently. I do what I was taught to by my psychic influences that I learned from, which is, before I connect, it's only to beings in love and light. And you don't have to say and not negative energies, because when you're doing that, now you're energizing it. That's where your intention is going, is, so energy flows where your attention goes, right? So if your attention is on something negative, that's what you're vibrating in alignment with, right? So you don't have to look at Satan to experience God and to take care of your connection, right? Just keep your focus on, not to get religious, but keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. You don't have to keep looking back. But I thought that was a beautiful reminder from our friend Jesus. All right, so I love you. Have a blessed day.